Have you ever asked yourself, how can a simple gesture completely transform your relationship? Today, I'm going to reveal a truth you may have never considered. A single touch, subtle and intentional, can awaken something deep within him. It can stir his heart, open the gates to authentic love, and build a connection that words alone could never achieve. This isn't about the grand gestures you see in movies. This is real. These are the quiet, powerful actions that deepen intimacy, strengthen emotional bonds, and remind him, without a single word, that he is seen, valued, and loved. Are you ready to discover the simple, yet profoundly effective ways to do just that? Let's explore it together in this video and unlock the true power of a loving touch. Have you ever wondered what creates that undeniable spark? The deep emotional connection between a man and a woman? It's not just words. It's not just actions. It's the subtle but powerful signals that are communicated through simple, yet profoundly meaningful gestures. Today, we're going to uncover the secret behind those gestures, the ones that activate love hormones in a man's body. In the world of emotional connection, communication goes far beyond spoken language. There's also the language of the body, and this unspoken language often says more than words ever could. As Denzel Washington once said in a powerful speech, it's not just about what you say, it's about how you make people feel. And in relationships, especially between men and women, that feeling is often sparked by the smallest, most sincere gestures. Take, for example, a gentle touch on the arm. It might seem like a simple act, but its impact on a man can be far deeper than we realize. That one touch carries a subtle yet powerful message of trust, safety, and closeness. You might think it's just a casual act, something people do without even thinking. But when you understand the science behind it, you'll realize just how profound it is. That touch speaks volumes without ever saying a word. It says, "I'm here, and you're safe with me." This kind of touch triggers a surge of powerful emotions in the human brain. It releases oxytocin, the hormone often referred to as the bonding hormone or the trust hormone. It's the same hormone released when a mother bonds with her newborn or when two people embrace. It creates a deep sense of connection and trust, something the mind alone can't always explain. Oxytocin brings warmth, safety, and an emotional closeness that doesn't need words. Denzel Washington once spoke about the importance of trust in relationships. He said, "Trust isn't something that's given. It's built through moments like this, through small, honest gestures." And that's exactly what this touch represents. A moment, quiet, yet profoundly important, where trust is nurtured. It's not dramatic. It's not a grand event, but it's real. And it lays the foundation for something much deeper. It tells a man he's not just another face in the crowd. He is someone worthy of emotional safety and sincere connection. So why does this kind of touch have such an effect? Why is it so powerful? The answer lies in how the human brain is wired. As social beings, we are deeply affected by physical contact. When a woman places her hand on a man's arm, it sends signals to his brain. It triggers the release of oxytocin and encourages feelings of emotional closeness. It's an invisible thread pulling two people closer, creating a bond that goes beyond logic. It's not a loud declaration, but a quiet affirmation, and that's where its true power lies. Imagine this. You're sitting in a room with someone you care about, and they gently place their hand on your arm. It's such a simple action, but it speaks volumes. It affirms something without needing to say anything. And in that moment, Denzel's words echo again. The most powerful thing you can do is show up. That's what this touch does. It shows up when words fall short. It speaks directly to the heart. It sends a message of assurance and emotional closeness. At its core, that touch is a confirmation. It tells the man, you're not alone. You are seen, you are heard, and most importantly, you are trusted. This simple act, though small in appearance, carries immense emotional meaning. It strengthens a relationship that transcends logic. It's not a grand proclamation, but a quiet, steadfast commitment. And that's where its true power lies. In a world full of noise and distractions, we often forget that so much of our communication happens in silence. The life and career of Denzel Washington is a powerful testament to this truth. Throughout his journey, his work hasn't only been about words and actions, it's been about creating a feeling, a presence that moves others. A light touch on the arm isn't any different. It's a way of saying, I see you, I trust you. And that trust, spoken not in words, but in presence, is the foundation of any strong relationship. Once you understand the science and emotional depth behind it, that touch becomes more than a gesture. It becomes a language that speaks when everything else is silent. So next time you feel the urge to gently touch the arm of someone you care about, remember, it's not a small act. It's a powerful affirmation of love, trust, and connection. And it's in those quiet moments that the real magic of relationships is born. In the simplest moments, a small gesture can spark profound change. It doesn't always take big words or bold actions. Sometimes, just a light touch on the arm is enough to make a lasting difference. Denzel Washington, with all his wisdom and life experience, once said, "Trust is not something that's given easily. It must be built moment by moment." And this very touch, a silent yet powerful moment, is a crucial part of building that trust. It's not just physical contact. It's the unspoken affirmation that the man doesn't have to face this world alone. The message within that touch is simple but warm. I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere. For men, living in a society that often demands emotional restraint, showing vulnerability isn't always encouraged. Social expectations often pressure them to hide fear, pain, even deep sadness. But Denzel reminds us, true strength doesn't come from hiding your emotions. It comes from allowing yourself to be real. That gentle touch, offered with sincerity and tenderness, gives a man a moment to lower his guard, to lay down the armor he's carried for so long. It's a moment of relief, of quiet truth, when he knows he doesn't have to be strong all the time. This touch, simple as it may seem, carries an extraordinary power. It isn't a demand. It isn't even a request. It is presence, pure and unwavering. Denzel once said during a talk, "We may not say a word, but when we are there, our presence speaks volumes." This touch doesn't need to be returned. It's not a romantic gesture in the traditional sense. It's not seductive. It's a quiet offering, a silent affirmation of care, of tenderness, of comfort. It tells a man, without saying a word, I'm here, and you don't have to carry it all alone. From a psychological standpoint, that gentle touch on the arm has a profound impact. When a woman lays her hand on a man's arm, his brain releases oxytocin, the hormone of connection and safety. It delivers more than just a moment of warmth. It builds emotional grounding. Denzel once shared, success doesn't come from what you say, but from what you do, and sometimes from what you choose not to say. This touch is action in its purest, most sincere form. No need for speeches, just genuine presence. For man, that moment allows him to breathe, to feel secure, to understand deeply that he is not facing life alone. In that split second, he knows he is worthy of love, not for what he does, but for who he is. And perhaps he realizes he doesn't need to hide how he truly feels. There are moments in life when a small gesture can spark immense change. For a man, something as subtle as a hand resting on his arm can affirm his self-worth. In today's world, where men are constantly pushed to prove themselves through achievements or appearances, that gentle touch carries a powerful message. It asks for nothing in return. Denzel Washington once said, bluntly and beautifully, "We don't have to prove we're worthy. True worth comes from within." That touch, it says exactly that. He is worthy of love, not for what he accomplishes, but simply because he exists. Unlike grand declarations or dramatic acts, this touch is a quiet reminder. A reminder that a man's emotional value is just as significant as his outward success. In a world that often measures men by what they can deliver, this small gesture whispers something different. that human connection and feeling matter just as much. As Denzel so clearly put it, true success isn't just about what you achieve. It's about what you give. This touch gives. It doesn't ask. It simply says, I see you, and thank you for being exactly who you are. But it doesn't stop there. That one gesture can open the door to a man's inner world, where feelings are often locked away. Society doesn't always make it easy for men to show vulnerability. But when a woman gently lays her hand on his arm, it's an invitation, not just to receive affection, but to offer it. That touch tells him it's safe to open up. It's okay to feel. This single moment can act as a key, unlocking the doors he's kept shut for years. Suddenly, he can see himself more clearly. He can connect more deeply. He can soften, even if just for a moment. Denzel once said, sometimes it's the smallest things that bring about the biggest changes. That soft touch on the arm is one of those things. It doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be big, but it speaks louder than most words ever could. It reminds us that love and connection don't always come in grand gestures or poetic speeches. Often, it's the quiet, sincere moments that leave the deepest impression. That touch isn't just for the man receiving it. It's also an invitation, a chance to meet someone at a deeper level, to feel safe, to feel seen, to know, with quiet certainty, that you are not walking through this life alone. Denzel Washington once said, true connection is spiritual. It reaches places words cannot go. And he was right. There are moments when words fall short, and a small, unassuming gesture speaks to the deepest parts of our soul. No need for dramatic expressions or overly romantic words. Sometimes a single tender touch, a hand resting on the chest, is enough to awaken emotions that have long been sleeping. That simple act becomes sacred, intimate, profound, because the chest, where the heart resides, has always been a symbol of life, of emotion, of what is most real inside a person. When a woman touches that place, it's not just physical closeness. It's a silent confession. I see you, not with the eyes of the world, but with the understanding of a soul that longs to connect. This gesture requires courage from both sides. For the man, it takes openness to let someone into the most guarded part of his heart. For the woman, it takes a tender kind of bravery to allow herself to be vulnerable enough to love with authenticity. It's like that moment in The Notebook when Allie gently places her hand on Noah's chest. No dialogue needed. That touch said everything. You are here, and so am I completely. And beyond the symbolism, the biological impact is just as real. Skin-to-skin contact, especially near the heart, releases oxytocin, known as the love hormone. It makes a man feel seen, valued, and, most importantly, recognized for who he truly is inside. As Denzel once said, the heart of a man is often hidden behind silence. But with the right touch, that silence speaks. And in that sacred pause between silence and touch, a miracle happens. Connection is made, not through logic, but through pure emotion. So next time you find yourself in a moment of closeness, don't underestimate the power of a small gesture. A hand on the chest at the right time with the right person might not just touch skin, it might touch the soul. And sometimes, that quiet moment becomes the first chapter of a love story that a man will remember for the rest of his life. Denzel Washington, a living icon of American cinema, is more than just a storyteller on screen. He's a man who deeply understands what moves another man's heart. He once said, true connection is spiritual. It reaches places words cannot go. And he was absolutely right. Some connections can't be spoken. They can only be felt with the heart. For men who have lived in silence, who've learned to bury their feelings beneath a calm exterior, one gentle touch from a woman they trust may be the only thing powerful enough to break down every wall they've ever built. In this modern world, men are expected to be strong, to be logical, to be the anchor without ever showing weakness. They've learned to swallow their pain, to ignore their wounds, and over time, Many forget what it even feels like to be loved without having to prove anything. But that doesn't mean they don't long for connection. Denzel once shared, "The heart of a man is often hidden behind silence. But with the right touch, that silence speaks." A hug, a kiss, or just a hand on the chest. Those seemingly small acts can awaken something buried deep within. Something sacred, something human. A part of him that has always wanted to be seen. Not for what he does, but for who he truly is. Oxytocin, the hormone of bonding and trust, is released in those quiet, intimate moments. It eases tension, dissolves emotional armor, and creates a sense of safety. When a woman gently places her hand on a man's chest, it's not merely a physical gesture. It's an unspoken message. I'm here, and I see you. Her presence doesn't try to fix or explain. It simply stays with him through the weight of emotion. In Good Will Hunting, there's a scene that brings tears to many eyes. Robin Williams' character doesn't offer profound advice. He simply places a hand on Will and repeats, "It's not your fault." That presence, quiet, non-preachy, is what begins to heal the deepest wounds inside that young man. In the same way, when a man feels a hand on his chest, dopamine, the hormone of joy and fulfillment, starts to flow. He feels lighter, the burden begins to lift, because now there's someone who asks for nothing, who simply stays. The chest, home to the heart, is not just a biological organ. It's where battles live, where memories hide, where unfinished dreams linger. A well-timed touch doesn't just soothe loneliness. It reminds a man that he too has the right to be soft, to be silent, and to be understood. As Denzel once said, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply show up and be there. Not to fix, not to solve, just to be. And sometimes it is in that quiet presence where healing finally begins. Denzel Washington, a man who emerged from roles of quiet strength, has always known this truth. The real power of a man doesn't lie in hiding his emotions, but in facing himself. In films like Fences or The Equalizer, he doesn't just showcase brilliant acting. He delivers a deeper message. A man isn't just a provider. He is a human being with wounds that need healing, with exhaustion that needs understanding. The chest, where the heart rests, has long been a place where many men bury emotions they were never allowed to express. Society teaches them to be resilient, to be unwavering, to conceal every hint of fragility. But the more they armor themselves, the more they live inside an invisible cage, locking away their yearning to be seen. As Denzel once said, "Don't confuse movement with progress. Just because they keep moving, keep working, doesn't mean they are growing." Some pain lingers quietly, even when no one notices. And then, through the simplest of gestures, a soft hand on the chest, often from a loving woman, something miraculous begins to happen. That touch doesn't come with explanations or questions. It doesn't offer advice. It just is. And in its simplicity, it unlocks a door that's been shut inside him for years. The tension starts to melt. His body eases. And for the first time in ages, emotion finds a voice. The final scene of Saving Private Ryan comes to mind. An old soldier standing before a grave, hand over his chest, saying nothing, but everyone understands something deep is breaking free. That touch doesn't just ease physical strain, it stirs a sense of protection. It whispers, "You don't have to carry this alone. I'm here." Denzel once said, "True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already." When a woman places her hand over his heart with pure tenderness and full presence, it becomes more than just a gesture. It's evidence that he is worthy of being loved completely. In that moment, it's not about physical closeness. It's an invitation to dive deeper into his emotional world. A connection that transcends words. A safe place where he can be his full self. No defenses, no pretending to be strong. Just breathing, just being soft. Because in the end, as Denzel so often emphasized, fall forward. Fall toward the one who makes you feel safe. even if it's just through a single, silent touch. Because sometimes, something as simple as that is enough to begin the healing journey your heart has waited for all along. Denzel Washington once said something that made the world pause. Success? I don't know what that word means. I'm happy. But success, that goes back to what in somebody's eyes success means. And maybe one of the greatest successes a man can feel isn't found in wealth, status, or applause, but in the quiet moment when he feels the warm, gentle presence of the woman beside him. A soft touch on the chest, seemingly small, is one of the most intimate and profound gestures a woman can offer a man. It's not just physical closeness. It's a silent declaration of trust that the man before her is safe enough for her to lay her heart upon him. An emotional connection awakened through a simple act, yet it carries immense healing power. It stirs the hormones of bonding, evokes the feeling of being protected, loved, truly seen, not just the strong version of himself that the world demands he display. When a man receives that touch, not out of duty, but from genuine love, it can tear down walls he spent a lifetime building. The walls of silence, of strain, of I'm fine. Like in Good Will Hunting, when Robin Williams' character looks into the eyes of a wounded young man and repeats, "It's not your fault," again and again, until Will finally breaks into tears. Sometimes, what a man needs isn't advice. It's someone who stays, who reaches into the wound with tenderness and patience. And in the same way, an unexpected hand on the back, what seems like a natural gesture in a relationship, can have a profound effect on a man's emotional world. It's the act of a woman who listens with her hands, who understands with her heart. Denzel once said, "The strongest, toughest men all have compassion. They're not heartless beasts." A gentle touch on the back, unannounced and unforced, can soothe muscles tightened by the weight of duty, especially along the spine, where men often carry unspoken stress. The muscles along the back, burdened with silent fatigue, when met with caring hands, begin to release endorphins, those precious hormones that bring relief to both body and soul. It's like a quiet exhale after living so long in defense mode. It's a silent nod. You're not alone. I'm here. In The Notebook, there's a scene where Ryan Gosling's character sits in silence. And just one look from the woman he loves is enough to calm every storm inside him. Sometimes what we need is someone who chooses to approach, without fuss, without judgment, someone who simply touches us at the right time. That's why the beauty of an unexpected back touch doesn't lie in technique or choreography, but in the surprise of affection it carries. It doesn't need to be announced, doesn't need to be requested. It's a gesture of pure intuition, like a jazz improvisation, soft, emotional, deeply felt. A simple act, yet it offers comfort where words cannot reach. And in the twilight years, when everything becomes simpler, that touch becomes a priceless gift a man's heart has always longed for. A touch given not out of obligation, but out of love. Under the soft, golden glow of a late evening lamp, what seemed like the most ordinary moment, a gentle hand on the back, carried an emotional power that words could never quite capture. For Denzel Washington, it wasn't just a physical gesture. He once shared that it's the smallest, most selfless acts that hold relationships together. The little things we do with love, they're the ones that last forever. Men often get swept up in the relentless pace of life, carrying burdens, bottling up exhaustion, hiding vulnerability behind a hardened exterior. Society has taught them that showing weakness is a form of failure. So they learn to survive in silence, expecting nothing from anyone, not even from the woman they love. That's why when something unexpected happens, like the soft touch of a hand on his back, it doesn't just feel like care. It feels like being seen. A simple touch, offered without request, without warning, and in a moment he never thought he deserved, can reach deeper than words ever could. It signals that she's present, that she feels the weight he carries, even when he doesn't say a word. That touch whispers, "I see you. I know you're tired. Let me carry this with you for a while." Denzel once said, "When you're comfortable, you're not growing." But he also understood that to keep growing, we all need a place to rest, to heal. And sometimes that healing arrives quietly, in the form of a gentle hand on a weary back. That hand doesn't just soothe aching muscles, it softens a heart that's gone dry for pressure. When a woman does this with no expectations, not for thanks, not for recognition, she creates a safe space. A sanctuary where the man can finally set down the emotional armor he's worn all day. Just like in Fences, where Denzel portrayed Troy Maxon, a black man worn down by prejudice, disappointment, and duty, there's one rare moment of peace. His wife touches him, not to correct, not to question, but simply to remind him that he's still human, still worthy of love. That's why, in Denzel's view, true love isn't found in grand, romantic gestures. It lives in the quiet kindnesses that ask for nothing in return. A hand on the back, offered without announcement, may seem small, but it carries a message of unconditional care. A quiet offering that says, "I'm here." That's what Denzel calls the quiet power of presence, the strength of showing up at the right moment in the right way. And sometimes, that's the only thing powerful enough to soften a soul that thought it had to stay strong forever. In today's high-pressure world, where people are buried in work, obligations, and expectations, emotional connection, especially in long-term relationships, can feel like a luxury. Men, expected to be stoic and emotionally self-contained, carry invisible pressures. And because of that, they often lose the sense of being truly understood, of being loved without needing to earn it. Denzel once said, "You pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too." That's a part of it. Life is like that. If you want something sacred, like love or peace, you have to embrace the mess, the empty spaces that feel impossible to fill. And sometimes, the most powerful way to fill those spaces doesn't come through words or grand gestures. It comes through something as simple as a hand resting quietly on a tired back. A small act, seemingly insignificant, can carry profound emotional power. When a woman places her hand on a man's back, not for praise, not for reward, but simply to be there, that's when warmth and sincerity shine through. That touch releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, helping both partners feel trust and closeness in a way that feels completely natural. It's not just physical, it's a ritual of intimacy, a way of saying, without words, "We're in this together." In The Equalizer, Denzel plays a quiet, soft-spoken man who lives in the shadows but fights for others. He doesn't need applause. He doesn't seek attention. He just wants to know he made someone's life a little easier. That's what a hand on the back is like. Silent, unannounced, and deeply moving. It's like a hug for the soul. For men, moments of stress or fatigue often go unspoken. They hide it, push through. That's why a well-timed touch, after a long, exhausting day, can serve as a powerful reminder. You matter. Your well-being matters. Your peace matters. And more than anything, when that act comes out of nowhere, it becomes a validation. Not because he just accomplished something, not because he achieved success, but simply because he exists. Denzel once said, "True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already." A man doesn't have to be perfect, strong, or exceptional to deserve love. He just has to be. In relationships, there are times when words aren't necessary. Sometimes, the simplest actions carry the deepest meaning. Denzel once said, "I think the hardest thing is to just sit still and be in the moment." And sometimes, being present means offering something small and quiet, like a hand on the back or a gentle nudge. These subtle gestures can awaken the most profound emotional bonds between two souls. One of the quiet miracles in relationships is how connection can blossom without a single word. While others search for the perfect phrase to express care or understanding, a timely hand on the back can say everything. It says, "I'm here for you." No explanation, no performance, just truth. Words can be misinterpreted, but actions? They speak clearly. As Denzel once said, "Don't worry about the people who talk behind your back. They're behind you for a reason." Sometimes it's the simplest gesture that reveals what's real, what we truly feel without needing to explain. When two people share a touch like that, whether it's a back rub or a soft nudge, there's a silence that fills the room. But it's not emptiness. It's peace. It's closeness. It doesn't require effort or planning. It's just real. And through these tiny, gentle acts, two people can rediscover how much they mean to each other without ever having to say a word. In The Equalizer, Denzel plays a man with a hardened shell but a warm heart. He understands that in life, sometimes the smallest gestures carry the greatest weight. Just like a soft nudge or a hand on the back, they don't make noise. They don't demand attention, but they remind someone you are not alone. Love is here. For men, vulnerability and the longing to be cared for often lie buried deep beneath the surface. That's why a playful elbow nudge or a gentle touch on the back can make them feel seen, without requiring them to open up too much. It's in these simple moments that a man realizes he is loved, not just for his achievements or what he can provide, but for who he truly is, for his essence. Acts like these remind him that he is worthy of love and care, not because of what he accomplishes, but simply because he exists. These gestures, small and seemingly trivial, can create profound emotional connections. They speak volumes without a single word, conveying understanding, affection, and comfort. And in that playful elbow nudge, sometimes there lies a shared moment of relaxation, a soft pause in life's intensity, where two people find peace in each other's presence. Denzel Washington, known for portraying powerful and determined characters, often reminds us of a vital lesson he's learned. Sometimes, life can get so serious. We need to take a step back, let go of the weight we carry, and just enjoy life for what it is. This wisdom doesn't just apply to stressful moments at work. It's just as relevant in our relationships. At times, a lighthearted gesture like a playful elbow bump is exactly what's needed to dissolve emotional barriers, to bring laughter, release, and a shared sense of genuine connection between two people. In life, we spend so much time confronting challenges, managing work, and handling family responsibilities. In the midst of all that, a single playful nudge can change everything. When a woman nudges a man in jest, it's more than just play. It's an invitation into a world of lightness and ease. It's a chance to step away from stress, to live fully in the present, and to savor the simple joy of being together. As Denzel once said, "We've got to take the time to laugh." Laughter is the best way to connect with others. It's the lightness and playfulness in these simple actions that can dissolve emotional walls we unconsciously build in our relationships. Connection doesn't always come from deep conversations or serious emotional exchanges. Sometimes it's born in carefree moments, free from expectations or agendas. Denzel powerfully shared the importance of lightness in relationships. Don't forget to have fun, to laugh, to just be. It's through playfulness that we create a space of safety, where both people can drop their guard and let their souls breathe. One reason a playful elbow bump is so powerful is because it renders us vulnerable. It creates a raw connection that words often cannot. When someone gets nudged, they're caught off guard, their defenses down, laughter and spontaneous reactions take over. And for that moment, they surrender everything to enjoy the now. Especially for a man, someone who carries responsibilities and expectations, a playful gesture offers him the rare freedom to let go, to feel joy without the burden of having to hold everything together. As Denzel once said, "You don't have to carry the world on your shoulders all the time. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to let go and enjoy the moment." On a physiological level, playful nudging stimulates the nervous system, triggering a wave of endorphins, those natural chemicals that lift our mood, ease tension, and help us feel alive. When a man gets nudged in jest, that rush of endorphins can instantly elevate his spirit. This joy isn't fleeting. It lingers, creating a ripple effect from one person to another. That ripple becomes a source of positive energy and connection, something no words could ever replicate. So even though it may seem like a small, ordinary act, a playful elbow bump is a powerful tool of connection. It allows us to open our hearts, shed our stress, and embrace simple yet meaningful moments of affection. There's nothing more beautiful than sitting side by side, laughing, being fully present, and letting love grow in its purest, most unforced form. Denzel Washington often emphasizes the importance of freedom in relationships. He believes that to build true connection, sometimes we have to let go of control and simply be. He once said, "Sometimes the greatest things happen when you stop trying to control everything and just let life surprise you." A playful nudge, though small, holds tremendous power in breaking down emotional walls. In its spontaneity lies a unique kind of magic, one that only the present moment can provide. When it happens, it's never planned. It's that moment when one person seizes the opportunity to break routine and bring joy into the relationship. The elbow nudge isn't just a joke. It's an act of boldness, an invitation to be real, to let go of the pressure to appear serious or worry about what others think. It's simply a moment to breathe, to laugh. And this is especially important for men, those who so often carry the heavy weight of expectations, constantly trying to be the reliable, mature ones, always in control. Denzel once reminded us, it's okay to let go, to be light, to embrace joy in the simplest moments. It's a powerful message that sometimes we don't need to worry about what might happen next. We just need to live fully right now. But the elbow bump isn't just harmless play, it's also a bridge to emotional intimacy. When two people laugh together, when they share joy in a spontaneous moment, that's when connection deepens. Laughter is a silent language, but it speaks powerfully. Denzel said it best. Laughter is the shortest distance between two people. In truth, when we laugh together, the body releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone that builds trust and deepens affection. The playful nudge becomes a pathway to emotional closeness, allowing both people to drop their defenses and connect in a fresh, intimate way. When a man and a woman share a moment like that, they're not just laughing, they're giving each other something far deeper. They're sharing a moment of genuine closeness, one that requires no words. In those moments, there's no hesitation, no emotional distance, only trust, warmth, and love. That's why something as simple as an elbow nudge can play such a meaningful role in nurturing a relationship. It builds a strong foundation for affection to grow. More than that, the playful nudge reveals a quiet kind of attentiveness. It's not about romance or physical attraction. It's about tenderness, about recognizing each other's emotional needs in the smallest ways. It's in those moments, unspoken, spontaneous, and full of joy, that strong relationships are built. Because true care isn't always expressed through grand gestures. Sometimes it's shown in the most unexpected, playful moments. In a quiet, fleeting moment, when a woman playfully tickles a man, it's not just a random act. It's a sign, an emotional signal that she's attuned to his mood, his energy, and his quiet longing for lighthearted joy. It's not a forced gesture. It's not an obligation. It's a soft, loving offering, a way to bring a smile to his face. And within that playful touch, there's an unspoken message. I see you. I care about you. And I want to bring a little joy into this moment we share. What seems like a harmless little tickle is actually a powerful emotional expression. It shows awareness. It shows love. It shows that one person is paying attention to the emotional temperature of the other. Denzel Washington once shared in an interview, "We can't always fix the world, but we can fix the small moments we share with people we care about." And that's the truth. These small moments, light, easy, genuine, are how we let people know they're seen, they're valued. We don't always have to show love through grand gestures or material things. Sometimes the simplest act says everything. For many people, relationships are burdened with expectations, roles we believe we have to play. A man might feel pressured to be the provider, the protector, always in control. But a playful tickle breaks that armor. It invites him to be something he rarely gets to be, himself, the real man behind the mask. No act, no image to maintain. Denzel once emphasized in a speech, "The real strength comes not from how you appear, but from how real you are when you let your guard down." That's why something as simple as a tickle can be so profound. It cuts through the pressure to be perfect. It lets a man, who may feel he has to be stoic, serious, strong, breathe for a moment, to feel softness, to feel safe, to feel like he can be vulnerable without being judged. It gives him permission to open up, to drop the shield, and to connect with his partner in the most honest, unguarded way. This kind of playfulness isn't just physical. It's emotional. It builds connection. It tears down walls. It creates moments of shared joy that don't need words. Life can be heavy with deadlines, responsibilities, the quiet weight we carry inside. But these spontaneous little bursts of laughter, they're the glue that keeps relationships fresh, real, and alive. Denzel put it perfectly. Laughter, joy, and spontaneity create the most genuine connections. Absolutely. Those silly, light-hearted moments don't just make us feel closer, they bind us. They create shared memories that hold us together when life tries to pull us apart. In those moments, it's not the intensity of love that matters. It's the ease of it, the softness, the quiet joy. That's what forms the deepest bonds. A playful tickle may seem small, but it's a reminder that sometimes the best way to connect with someone isn't through words or duty or effort. It's through laughter, spontaneity, simple joy. We don't always have to do something grand to show we care. Sometimes one gentle touch, one burst of laughter, is all it takes to remind someone they're loved. And that moment can change everything. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope today's story and reflection touched your heart and helped you realize that in life, it's the smallest gestures, the simplest moments, that carry the greatest power to transform. Never forget, every touch, every smile, every small act of love is a priceless gift you can give to the people who matter most. If you have a story you'd like to share, don't hesitate to leave a comment below this video. We'd love to hear from you and share your journey. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our future content. If you're facing something personal, leave us a message. We're always here, ready to create videos that speak directly to your heart. Stay loving, stay hopeful, and we'll see you in the next video.